Burning Question, presented by Nissan Magnite, powered by Amity University and Century Ply.
Thank you for joining us on the Burning Question. A top headline in the wake of the massive political crisis in Maharashtra. MVA government is under threat. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray addresses the state, says he doesn't want to be the Chief Minister. While whining over rebellion in the Sena led by Eknath Shinde, Uddhav Thackeray claims he is ready to step down both from the Chief Ministership and also at the helm of the Shiv Sena. As Eknath Shinde claims support of more than 40 MLAs, NCP Chief Sharad Pawar, Supriya Sule meet Uddhav. Sources suggest they've asked Uddhav to step down and make Eknath Shinde the Chief Minister. Eknath Shinde has rejected the offer. He says he does not want any alliance with the Congress or the NCP. Over 35 rebel MLAs issue a resolution electing Eknath Shinde as their group leader. The letter lists corruption in the government, mentions names of NCP leaders and ministers who are in jail. Both Congress and NCP try to keep their flock intact, with leaders of both parties meeting their respective lawmakers. Both parties have also met Uddhav Thackeray. Thank you for joining us on the Burning Question. And on top of 8 p.m, the big story: Uddhav Thackeray, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, is going to vacate his residence. Ladies and gentlemen, behind me, you can see movement, VIP movement, and the police are lining up the street, clearing, making sure that there's a clear demarcation between the media and those who are entering, and so that the road is clear. Senior leaders of the Congress and NCP have been at the Chief Minister's residence. He's going to vacate. Uday Samant, I think. Okay, but the breaking news update right now: Uddhav Thackeray is going to head to his residence, Matoshri. His real residence of Matoshri. He's going to vacate the Chief Minister's residence. On top of 8 p.m, the breaking news update: Uddhav Thackeray is going to vacate his residence, Varsha, his official residence, Varsha, and go back to his personal residence of Matoshri, which is an indication that he's going to more or less leave the Chief Minister's post. He hasn't resigned. He's sticking on to his post as of now, but he's leaving the residence. He hasn't resigned yet. And the other big breaking news update on the Burning Question this evening at 8 p.m, the BJP and the Union Minister Raosaheb Danve has just said that the BJP will not stake claim. I repeat, the BJP will not stake claim yet. The BJP will not stake claim. They will stick it out. They will wait and watch, but they're not staking claim yet. They want to wait and watch the developments that take place in Maharashtra, and they want to watch the Sena drama play out a little bit more before making a final decision on how they should be moving. But the truth is, the BJP is in touch with Eknath Shinde's camp. Chandrakant Patil was headed to Guwahati with 4 MLAs. Here's the story so far. Uddhav Thackeray addressed the media earlier today. At least 15 times said, I don't want to be the Chief Minister, I want to step down. And he did not step down. Getting in some more details. In fact, supporters, looks like Shiv Sena supporters are beginning to gather. As we stay with the latest updates, let's show you what has happened so far, and then come back to the debate.
A desperate Uddhav addressed the state. With numbers clearly not in his favor, the Maharashtra Chief Minister claimed several times.
तर मी आता मुख्यमंत्री पदाचा राजीनामा द्यायला तयार आहे आणि ह्याच्यावरती विश्वास नसेल तर आज आपली फेसबुक लाईव्ह झाल्यानंतर आज संध्याकाळपासून मी माझा मुक्काम वर्षावरून मातोश्रीला हलवत आहे.
Justifying his alliance with the NCP and the Congress.
आज मी नेमकं काय बोलणार आहे? मला दुःख कशाचं झालेलं आहे? आश्चर्य कशाचं वाटलेलं आहे? धक्का कशाचा बसलेला आहे की काँग्रेस आणि राष्ट्रवादी म्हणाली की आम्हाला मुख्यमंत्रीपदी उद्धव ठाकरे नकोत. तो त्यांचा विचार आहे. दोन्ही पक्ष स्वतंत्र आहेत. ठीक आहे, सत्तेच्या तडजोडीसाठी आपण एकत्र आलो होतो असं जे काही इतर जण म्हणतायत त्यांच्याप्रमाणे सत्तेच्या साठी आपण एकत्र आलो होतो. पण आज सुद्धा सकाळी कमलनाथजींनी मला फोन केला होता. कालच सकाळी शरद पवारजींनी फोन केला. मला म्हणाले उद्धव आम्ही तुमच्या सोबत आहोत. हा त्यांच्या भरोश्याचा विषय आहे. पण त्यांनी भरोसा माझ्यावरती ठेवल्यानंतर माझ्याच लोकांना जर मी मुख्यमंत्रीपदी नको असेल तर काय करायचं.
Refuting that Sena has drifted away from Balasaheb Thackeray's Hindutva.
ही शिवसेना कोणाची आहे. काही जण असं आरोप करतायत की किंवा असं भासवण्याचा प्रयत्न करतायत की आता काय बाळासाहेबांची शिवसेना राहिली नाही. ठीक आहे ना, बाळासाहेबांची शिवसेना आणि आत्ताच्या शिवसेनेत फरक काय नेमका. असं काय मी नेमकं केलेलं आहे.
Well, just minutes before the Chief Minister of Maharashtra vacates his residence, minutes before he leaves his residence, a show of support here. Sena supporters coming out in large numbers, showing their support to Uddhav Thackeray. He's going to leave his residence. He's vacating his official residence. He's going to move out anytime now. And just before he moves out, they're all coming out. They're lining up the streets. Look at this. From the corner of the Chief Minister's residence at the end of the road. At the end of the road, look at that. From the end of the road, they're lining up the street. And there are a few hundreds of them. There are a few hundreds of them who've come out. Obviously, it's planned meticulously, and it's timed because we were told that there were preparations also at the Chief Minister's residence for this to happen. And Uddhav Thackeray is going to leave his residence, official residence. Hundreds of them have lined up in no time. It's all happening in a few minutes. These are the pictures, live pictures from outside the Chief Minister's residence. I'm walking along this entire road, entire lane, and they're all just getting ready to leave. They're all showing their support, saying that Aditya Sahib, and they're holding banners to show support to the Chief Minister as he gets ready to leave. He's going to leave in a few minutes from now. We showed you also the police cover, the police ensuring the streets are clear. So they're preparing for a big show. They're preparing for a big show, and you'll see that there's massive chaos here as they line up in large numbers here. And he's going to leave any minute now. There are preparations to to give him a good goodbye from the Chief Minister's office, perhaps, as he goes back to his residence. These are pictures coming in. Let's try and speak to some of them. The police trying hard to clear the roads because this is the road that they will be taking. They're all getting prepared to leave. And these are pictures, live pictures, ladies and gentlemen, from outside the Chief Minister's residence. Shiv Sena supporters rushing to the Chief Minister's residence as he gets ready to leave. He gets ready to vacate his residence. He's going to vacate his residence anytime now. And they've lined up this entire stretch from the Chief Minister's residence to the guest house. And look at that. That's a poster. And only. Yeah, आपको अभी वापस जा रहे सीएम
किधर
वापस जा रहे घर जा रहे वापस
मातोश्री में जा रहे हैं. उनका हम स्वागत कर रहे हैं, उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं.
लेकिन क्या आप सपोर्ट करते हैं वो जो अभी वो जो ऑफिस से निकल रहे हैं, क्या वो डिसीजन को सपोर्ट करता है?
वो सपोर्ट करेंगे ना. उनको शिव सैनिक पर विश्वास है, नेताओं के ऊपर विश्वास नहीं है.
Okay, that is one of the Shiv Sena supporters. So thousands of them. Let me just walk with you and show you how they've lined up the streets in no time. Hundreds of them have just come out here in a few minutes, and I'm just going to walk and show you how many of them have turned up. Thousands of them, not thousands, maybe hundreds, perhaps a few hundreds, lining up the street here. See this stretch. I'm just walking. It's about 150 meter stretch, and Shiv Sena, yeah, yes. Look at this. They've just come here in large numbers. With carrying the saffron flag there, and trying to send a message, and makes for a good visual as well as the Chief Minister. Of course, also leaves his official residence. it's a great opportunity for them to also portray that he still has support of the cadre. But I'm not sure. It's a split, because you had the Shiv Sena, one faction of it, show support in parts of Thane today, where Eknath Shinde enjoys large support. So you'll see that in this entire stretch, about 100-meter stretch, they are there, standing, showing their support. Could be the local units that have been called here, because this decision has just been taken about half an hour, 45 minutes back, and they've gathered here to show their support. Uddhav Thackeray will be passing this route, so it's obviously planned to show that he's got support of one section of the party at least. And there were some more leaders who were here. So along this stretch, if I can just quickly show you the action. So the Chief Minister is going to leave from here. He's going to leave from here where the roads are being cleared. And the posters. And these are the posters here as well. Showing support to the Chief Minister here and this entire stretch. About 150 of them shouting slogans, getting ready to wave goodbye to Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray is going to leave the residence of the Chief Minister. That's his official residence here, Varsha, on the left here. And the police also clearing the roads to ensure that, there's a safe passage. There's a clear passage, and he's going to be passing this route. And heading towards his personal residence. It's been quite an embarrassing 48 hours for the Shiv Sena with the split. 70% of its party disappearing. 70% of the party disappearing without nobody knowing. In fact, one of the biggest complaints of even the allies today of the Shiv Sena is that nobody saw it coming. How did nobody know that 40 MLAs had disappeared? Even Sharad Pawar said that even the intelligence, it shows the state of the intelligence that it's disappeared. He said, how is it that nobody, not the government, not the Shiv Sena, nor the police, none of them knew that they were moving from Mumbai to Surat and from Surat to Gujarat. He said it's caught everyone by surprise. And to add to it, you had this resolution that was passed, 34 MLAs writing a letter, Eknath Shinde signing on that letter saying, I am the leader of the party and that I am appointing the chief whip of the party, and adding that this government is corrupt. I think it's been a forgettable day for everybody in this alliance, and especially in the Shiv Sena. The Chief Minister on at least 15 occasions has said that he is willing to step down. Let's show you the situation here. Situation out here. Hundreds of them gathering in this 150 meter stretch. I'm just going to try and walk across and show you this entire stretch and how all of them have gathered. A huge police presence, the police trying to ensure that the roads are clear, because any time the Chief Minister could be leaving, and when he leaves So that's a show of support, slogans being raised for Uddhav Thackeray and for Aditya Thackeray. Very interesting that Uddhav Thackeray, Aditya Sahib, Uddhav Sahib, Aditya Sahib, and no one. Of course, this is the pro Uddhav faction that is protesting, and the police is trying its best to keep everyone to the side, because there you go. All of them are here. In a line and sending their message. It's going to be interesting. We'll be at a vantage point, because any time now the Chief Minister of Maharashtra is expected to pass via this route. He's going to pass this route, and I'm not sure he's going to stop, but certainly will make for a very interesting visual as he gets ready to leave the residence, the official residence, and go back to his personal residence of Matoshri. That is in Bandra. It's going to be a long day and a long night here in Mumbai. I'm here outside the Chief Minister's residence. Uddhav Thackeray is going to leave the residence of the Chief Minister officially now. Will he resign? I'm not sure. Has he resigned? I'm not sure. But he certainly says he's got his resignation letter ready. Ladies and gentlemen, fast-paced developments here in Mumbai. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra is going to leave his residence and he's going to go back to his personal residence. Okay, let me also go across to my panelists. It's a pretty chaotic situation here in Mumbai. Complete chaos where I am right now and the noise around me. And I'm trying to find my video journalist. I'm sorry, in the melee, I'm trying to find my video journalist. I've just lost him. But let me go across. Also to my panelists right now. Okay, I'm just opening up the entire list of guests that I have with me right now. Joining me on the broadcast this evening, Professor Sangeet Ragi, Mamta Kale, Gaurav Goel, Vivek Singh, Ratnakar Tripathi, Manasvi Thapar, Anurag Bhadoria. Okay, let me go across. Sangeet Ragi is live with me. Sangeet Ragi, Gaurav Goel, Professor Vivek Singh, Manasvi Thapar, Tausif Ahmad Khan. Okay, they are live with me right now. Sangeet Ragi, what do you make of the development? Should he have just resigned? He's going to leave the residence. He's going to leave the official residence in a short while from now. He's going back to his personal residence of Matoshri. Should he have resigned? Sangeet Ragi. Instead.
I think that he has I think that he is convinced now that he has lost the political battle. Number one, it is not about making government. I think that he has lost the control on the party, and tomorrow, you or myself may not be surprised if Shiv Shinde says that he is the leader of the real Shiv Sena. And therefore, what my impression is that the body language of Uddhav Thackeray was very poor, and so was normally, I never have seen in last 5-6 years, so submissive Sanjay Raut. So he is convinced, I think the Thackeray Parivar and the Thackeray leadership is convinced that the majority is not with them. The majority of the Shiv Sainiks are with Shinde, and therefore I think that he is going to prove to be the Bahadur Shah Jafar of the Mughal Sultanate. So he has lost the capital, the political capital, the cultural capital, which respected Bala Sahab had earned for the party. Today, every Shiv Sainik will hang his head in shame that while ditching the Bharatiya Janata Party to keep Bharatiya Janata Party away from the seat of power, they joined hands with those who supported Afzal Khan. Those who supported
Sangeet, I have some breaking news update. Eknath Shinde has just tweeted. Sangeet, bear with me. I have some breaking news update. I'm going to walk and read. Eknath Shinde has just tweeted, and I'm reading from his tweet. Eknath Shinde has just tweeted saying that in the last 2.5 years, MVA, the government benefited only the constituent parties. The Shiv Sainiks were overwhelmed, while the constituent parties are getting stronger. The Shiv Sainiks, he's saying Shiv Sena is getting weaker. He has tweeted saying that the government benefited the constituents, but the Shiv Sena, he says, was the eventual loser. That's what Eknath Shinde has just tweeted. Should he have just resigned? Should Uddhav Thackeray have just resigned? Let me go across to Tausif. Tausif, what is going on here? If he wants to resign, he should have just resigned. Tausif, what is he saying? I want to resign. I feel like resigning, but I'm not resigning.
Maharashtra political crisis is BJP manufactured crisis. So this fight is a politics of principles versus politics of unscrupulous. Politics of service to nation versus politics of trade, of selling and buying MLAs. We have seen BJP is a master in trade. They have done that in Madhya Pradesh. They have done that in Karnataka. They tried to do in Bengal. They tried to buy MLAs in Bengal and form their own government. This jod-tod politics, it did not work in Bengal.
If Shiv Sainik legislatures
similarly, I hope that this will not work in Maharashtra.
Assam, it states about the sorry state of Maharashtra that they are very scared of. Because the Maharashtra, they are
There is
raising a
no
very
denial.
important question.
There is no denial
where
that
is
the rebel
Hindutva?
group in Shiv
It was
Sainik have been
Shiv Sena is
lured
not
by
like Mamata
none other
Banerjee.
than the
Shiv Sena
BJP
is not
top
like
political
any other
leadership.
regional party.
The rebel
There
group
is
of MLAs of
ideological
Shiv
foundations
Sainik
behind it,
were given accommodation in Gujarat.
which Uddhav Thackeray
They have rebelled against their
which
own party
completely
leadership
lost,
because
and
they
that
have
is
been
why
lured.
It is the
And
revolt
God knows
against
what
not the
deal they have
ideology.
strucken
It is the
with
revolt
the
against
ruling BJP.
It is revolt
And this
particularly
is
against
politics
Parivar.
of unscrupulous.
Thackeray
Let me
Parivar
tell you,
is not Shiv Sena. Remember,
every move by
Bala
BJP
Sahab
is
epitomized
right
Shiv
now
Sena.
before the
But Uddhav
country.
Thackeray and
People of
Aditya
India
Thackeray
want
do not
BJP to
represent
control the
whole
let me tell you
situation.
something. 1 minute, don't
So far,
speak.
Agnipath is concerned, but they are busy.
They have rather
1 second, there is no need to, today there is no need to speak over each other. Calmly ask yourself. No, calmly ask yourself. 1 minute, calmly ask yourself. 1 minute, calmly discuss, calmly. 1 minute. Yeah, Tausif, okay, you have a written script. Say every debate you say the same thing. I expected you to say that, but I want to ask Manasvi Thapar and Gaurav Goyal. Okay, Manasvi,
You should not get
Shiv Sena has 55 MLAs, of which,
While I'm exposing BJP, I know you will get pissed and you will make.
no, 1 minute. Tausif, first of all, mind your language. Tausif, mind your language. Mind your language. Tausif, there is better language to use, and Aishwarya will join the show later. This is Niranjan here. I asked you about the luring and all of that, right? I am saying mind your language. Even if you want to say something, there are better words you can choose. Stop using the P word, okay? Let me go across to Manasvi Thapar and Gaurav Goyal. Manasvi, Shiv Sena has 55 MLAs, okay? Out of 55, 16 attended the meeting with the Chief Minister. Which means 39 of them are not accounted for, of which 34 are with Eknath Shinde. 4 more have flown in. 38, we are told, are with Eknath Shinde right now, which is roughly about 70 to 75% of the party. Now tell me, if 70 to 75% of the party is writing a letter saying that it's a corrupt government and that there are several ministers who are tainted, corrupt, who are in jail, and that they've compromised on the Hindutva agenda, if ruling ministers are complaining about ministers and alliances, should this alliance continue at all? Manasvi and then Gaurav Goyal, please don't speak over each other. Stay calm. You have enough time. Speak. Manasvi, your turn.
Niranjan, it is very interesting to see how the democracy of this country is functioning. Suddenly, the MLAs are in Gujarat, now they are in Guwahati, and we know these states are ruled by whom. And we know what kind of pressure tactics, we know what kind of buying of MLAs have happened in the last few years. That is unaccounted. We have seen what happened in Madhya Pradesh, we have seen what have happened in Karnataka, we have seen what everywhere, be it in West Bengal, be it in Uttar Pradesh, be it in Gujarat, how opposition leaders are either bought or pressurized, and how in this whole scenario, maybe BJP may win, but is the Loktantra, is the democracy winning? In winning an election, even if you lose an election, you don't care about how the opposition should function. You buy the members of opposition. This is how the democracy as of now is functioning, and people are celebrating. In the loss of Uddhav Thackeray, people are celebrating that he's losing, and BJP is very happy about it. This is not the party which Atalji or LK Advani would have thought that BJP is a party of a difference, wherein they respected while they were not in power. They continued to serve the people of the nation, of the states, but now this is not happening. If you are not in power, you will buy MLAs, you will take them to resorts, you will give them a tourism visa across the nation from one. Who's paying for this? The question is, over all the luxury hotels and the stay and the charter planes these MLAs are getting, who's paying for it? Is it the Maharashtra Sarkar? Is it from Eknath Shinde? It is coming from BJP. Who's paying for it? These are valid questions, and if they are not being paid, who's managing the logistics? So these questions also needs to be answered. When people elect MLAs.
Manasvi, calm down. Manasvi, calm down. Manasvi, calm down. Okay, you want me to tell you the number of instances when Congress party has flown its MLAs? By the way, Shiv Sena MLAs were also taken. No, 1 minute. No, hear me out. Today, Congress party's, Shiv Sena MLAs were taken to the St. Regis Hotel, okay?
I am asking
20, no, wait. I am not defending. No, why are you getting touchy? I'm asking you a question. Every time I ask you, I'm asking you a counter question. Why are you getting so edgy? Why are you getting so touchy?
Ask me.
I'm asking you a question. Listen.
No, ask me.
There's complete drama playing out. There's complete drama playing out. Okay. There's complete drama playing out, right? The chief minister wants to resign. He said, I want to resign. If you want to resign, why are you not resigning? Right? Gaurav, people are asking that question. You want to resign, resign. But what is this saying? I want to resign,
Niranjan,
but
I think
come to my face, tell it to my face. I mean, what is that? What is that?
See,
Gaurav. Yes, Gaurav.
One thing I think Mr. Manasvi will appreciate. Yes, one thing Mr. Manasvi will also appreciate. There is a famous proverb, जैसी करनी वैसी भरनी, जैसा बियोगे वैसा ही पाओगे. Thereby meaning कि the party who was formed on the basis of the principle of Hindutva and this unholy alliance with the Congress, certainly they have to pay the cost. Now, when somebody comes and say, when 70% of their own MLAs are not supporting the Shiv Sena, they are blaming that yes, it's a corrupt government, and the Shiv Sena, whose core ideology used to be Hindutva when Balasaheb Thackeray was there, and they have compromised on that ideology, nothing remains. And now Mr. Manasvi says that because they are in Surat, they were taken to Guwahati and the chartered aeroplanes. I think that does not make any difference because your own MLAs are blaming this government. Yeah, you please respond. Yes, you please respond.
Niranjan, can I respond? Niranjan, there is a very specific question being raised by MLAs and my fellow panelists that there are corruption charges. Who are the corrupt? Yeah. So who are the corrupt people in Shiv Sena or in this Adani government? That should be nailed out. And if now listen to brother, listen to me. Now if they form a government with BJP, will the BJP prosecute? Listen to me now. Will the BJP prosecute those people against whom these people resigned and said these people are corrupt? So name them. My own MLAs are saying I am corrupt. So tell me who is there in the party who's corrupt?
They are not corrupt.
Name the ministers. Why aren't you naming?
Manasvi, there is a point. These your own ML.
No. Who are corrupt?
Saying,
you have made a charge that the MLAs are saying
your ministers are corrupt. And do you think BJP
who are corrupt? Who are those party people?
Your own MLAs are saying that your government is not good. See,
who are those people who are corrupt?
Compromised on the principle of Hindutva.
Brother, you said those people are corrupt. Who are those people?
To say that I will be the last
those
person.
People who are corrupt?
See, Balasaheb Thackeray said that I will be the last person to ever do the alliance with the Congress. But how can you do the alliance?
Who are those people who are corrupt?
See, Shiv Sena.
I'll tell you. Come to me. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Manasvi, I'll tell you. Manasvi, I'll tell you. You asked a question. Who are those who are corrupt? Wait, let me read out from the letter.
I'm listening. Niranjan,
wait. No, let me read out from the letter. No,
I'm listening to you.
I'm reading from a letter. Let me bring in Professor Vivek Singh, and also Manasvi can respond to him. See what he's written. He has written in his letter, and I'm going to read out. By the way, I'm just outside Varsha, the residence, where the chief minister is going to leave any time now. At the end of the road, you saw those hundreds of supporters waiting. Okay, let me tell you. He says, there has been great dissatisfaction among the members of the party, that is Shiv Sena and party cadre at large, on account of corruption in the government. He says, corruption by the then Home Minister Anil Deshmukh, who's in jail. He says sitting minority minister was corrupt, Nawab Malik, who's in jail for involvement with underworld don Dawood Ibrahim. Apart from the above reasons, the party cadre faced tremendous harassment and distress on political as well as personal grounds from the opposition. See, you can do two things, Tausif. You can ask him why is he speaking out now. You can certainly ask Eknath Khadse why is he speaking out now, because he could have spoken out earlier, and you can ask them certainly the questions of the timing. You have every right to do that. I have every right to do that. But you can't ask questions on whether what he's saying is valid or not, because it is true. There are corrupt people in Sena, there are corrupt people in NCP, there are corrupt people in the Congress party, there may be corrupt people in the BJP as well. But the charges are very serious against each of these ministers named. Tausif, and then let Professor Vivek Singh come in.
नवनीत जी को फोन करियो ना.
Considering the timing and intention, the timing and intention is a huge factor about the one who's raising these questions and puts him on the dock whether these questions are valid or not. You see, in every political party since time immemorial, there are some factions.
Okay, I'm getting in some exclusive pictures. Sorry for interrupting you there. Sorry for interrupting you there. Sorry for interrupting you. They're just getting some exclusive pictures, Tausif. I'm just coming back to you. Exclusive pictures coming in of Eknath Shinde with MLAs at Radisson Blu. You're just looking at those pictures on your screen right now. These are pictures that came in a few minutes back. You can see these MLAs who are with Eknath Shinde inside the Radisson Blu, smiling and signing what looks like the resolution letter that was shared with everyone. That's Pratap Sarnaik, very interestingly, was also being investigated by the Enforcement Directorate. Pratap Sarnaik and a few more MLAs. Eknath Shinde himself has been under scanner. Some of these MLAs there who are, there's also a video that has come in. All of them seem calm, sitting inside, and like the Chief Minister of Maharashtra said, that he was hurt, shocked. I think the words used were shocked. He said, I'm shocked with how suddenly, the sheer suddenness of it, on how suddenly they left and they're upset. He said, I wish they just told me to my face and I would step down. Tausif, go on. While over those pictures, Tausif and Professor Vivek Singh.
So there is no denial that in the rebel group, you have leaders who have cases against them, and there is a reasonable apprehension that these people fear central government's action against them, because that's what we have seen with other leaders of Shiv Sena and the government alliance, people, the leaders who are in alliance with the Maharashtra government. So, you know, there comes a time where we all know that the current regime of Maharashtra, that is the Aghadi government, is at loggerheads with the central government, who controls all these agencies of ED and CBI and other central agencies. And through these agencies, they build pressure. It's a pressure tactic that they use, that BJP uses in their favor. And we have.
Are you saying? Okay.
We are saying
let me just. Can I counter you?
In Bengal, we have seen this in Karnataka, and we have seen this in Madhya Pradesh. In Bengal, the attempt by BJP foiled. Mamata Banerjee had many leaders leaving her before the election.
No, let me ask you a question. Are you saying by your own logic, Tausif?
Similarly, Shiv Sena is now going through a phase.
Yeah, I got your point. No, you have a valid point. You have a valid point. Can I take that question? Yeah, you have a valid point. You have a valid point. I take your point on that. You have a valid point. I take your point. Yes, some of them were facing ED cases. You can cite the Mukul Roy, example. You can cite any example that you want. But can you counter that Hindutva? The Hindutva, because the Hindutva, reason cited is what many leaders have been saying on record, off record for several months now. And it's getting too much, is what some have been saying. Some have been saying, Professor Vivek Singh. No, let Professor Vivek Singh respond, Tausif, and then you come back. Professor Vivek Singh. It's not an excuse. Yeah.
Niranjan ji, I will reply to Tausif, but first
Tausif, give him his chance.
Tausif, let me complete. Let me start. I have not started. I was hearing you. So
Tausif, let him speak.
Tausif, let me complete. So first of all, I will.
Tausif, hear him. Come on, Tausif.
Before that, as far as official residence is concerned, you can watch the speech of the Uddhav Thackeray. 15 times he is saying that I am going to leave, but he is not leaving because he is thinking that there may be some chances of compromise. When he is all things failed, then he is leaving the official residence. As far as Tausif is, whatever has been said by the Tausif is totally wrong, because I am saying why. Because Uddhav Thackeray is responsible and Uddhav Thackeray was not able to handle the situation. Then who is responsible? Ultimately, it's showing the failure of Uddhav Thackeray. As far as ideology is concerned, it's clearly indicating that mandate was for BJP and Shiv Sena. So Shiv Sena has compromised with its ideology. And if you are compromising with your ideology, such type of thing is going to happen. As far as so there are now two questions. who are opposing. Those people are opposing, or those MLAs are opposing, who have to go to the election. So ultimately, they have to go to at the grassroots level. They have to fight election, and they are thinking that you have compromised with your ideology. That's why they are having problem. So they have no option but to leave the party. As far as Uddhav Thackeray is concerned, right now there are two challenges before him. One is to save his government. Unfortunately, he is not able to do that. And second is to save his party, because right now there are two people who are commanding over the Shiv Sena. One is Shindeji, and second one is the Uddhav Thackeray. As far as one matter is very important that I will like to highlight, that 34 MLAs have written the letter to the governor of Maharashtra. It's showing that more than 37 MLAs are being required, and they are in favor of the Eknath Shinde. So ultimately, you can see from the speech of the Uddhav Thackeray that he is totally desperate, and he knows very well that he will not be able to save the government, because more than 75% of the MLAs are with the Eknath Shinde. If such type of situation is there, and you can watch the video and look at the pictures, do you think that there is any pressure on the Eknath Shinde?
Yeah, Professor Vivek.
People, there is no pressure. And
no, Professor Vivek.
Let
me tell you something.
Assam, so there is a problem.
Let me, Professor, let me bring in.
Is with the Shiv Sena and with
let me just. No. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me get in. Actually, let me get in Manaswi, and let Sangeet Ragi come in, right? Sangeet Ragi. Now, in this address, we were told that, by the way, when Pawar came, there was supposed to be... Okay, look at the irony of this, okay? In the morning, we were told there's going to be a physical cabinet meeting, and then they said that the Chief Minister has tested positive. He can't be there physically. He's going to have a virtual meeting. Then we were told, when Sanjay Raut went and met him, and then some of us started asking questions, how did that meeting happen? We thought he tested positive. Then we were told that, no, he's tested negative. Then when he addressed, he said, I've tested positive. And after the Sharad Pawar and Supriya Sule and everybody went and met him, there were hundreds of people who met him, right? Now, whatever's going on with the COVID situation, I'm not saying anything, but they tried to tell him, you please step down, you let Shinde take over. Shinde has said no, Shinde doesn't want to take over. It's not going to happen. So this alliance is not going to last. How long do you think they'll stick it out? Sangeet Ragi, and let Manaswi come in.
First of all, I think those all who are trying to defend Uddhav Thackeray are suggesting two things. That the rules of the game for Uddhav Thackeray should be different, that just should be judged by different yardsticks. And the rules of the game played out by Shinde should be judged differently. The way Uddhav Thackeray played the ball, similarly, Shinde is playing the ball. So now, on the basis of normative judgment, you cannot say that it is betrayal of the trust or something like that. Number one. Number two, Shiv Sena cannot be equated with other regional parties. Other regional parties are just for the sake of power. Their existence is the basis, the glue that binds them together is the power. But it is not it cannot be, the same cannot be said about the Shiv Sena. Even if the Shiv Sena was not in power, it has the ideological foundations, and it had committed cadres who were ready to sacrifice their lives even for the sake of the ideology. So here, in the last 2.5 years, the political capital, every Shiv Sainik is thinking that who has benefited from this alliance? Is the party? Is the ideology, or only the Uddhav family? So they have boiled down to this conclusion that from this coalition, only Uddhav Thackeray and his son, who is trying to build up the political capital for the future, they are getting only benefited. But the party has lost. They had feared that it is the BJP which will be consuming them, swallowing them. But no, now it is Sharad Pawar who has actually consumed the party. Now the Shiv Sena doesn't carry the same political weight as it used to carry when it was with the Bharatiya Janata Party. This is my conclusion.
The contrasting point in Maharashtra's politics.
Manaswi.
Contrasting
Manaswi,
point
and you know, I have some breaking news here behind me right now. Just a few minutes back, Sanjay Raut has left. I have some breaking news update right now. Sanjay Raut has just left. No, let me tell you, Sanjay Raut has just left. Sanjay Raut said that the Chief Minister is not going to resign. So he's not going to resign. He's not going to resign, but he wants to resign. He has his resignation letter ready, but he's not submitted the resignation letter. And he's not going to stay in the Chief Minister's residence, but he's going back to his personal residence. So that's the situation right now. Manasvi.
He is staging
Basically, he's hanging on to his chair for now.
Niranjan, he is trying to, extract the political emotions of the Shiv Sainik. He is staging a political drama. He is not for a man who is committed to the ideology.
Let Manasvi respond. Hold on.
Power. He has lost the face.
No, it was always clear it was about power. Manasvi.
Niranjan, in a democracy, why the people right now in Maharashtra who are in opposition, they are celebrating it? I don't get it. They did not have the mandate. They could not win it, so they went into horse trading, and that's okay. If everything is fair in love and war, and politics, I believe, is war, and if they believe in this is the way they need to move forward, it's okay. If they want to deal into horse trading, and now there are different names to horse trading also. They can do their political tourism. They can be under pressure. There could be many things, and the outcome given is that since Shiv Sena was corrupt, that's why we are moving out of it. Now Shiv Sena is no more a Hindutva party. That's why we are moving out of it. So when did they realize it? Did they realize it 3 days back, or this was there since last 6 months, 1 year ago? When did they actually realize it? And if we give the example of Nawab Malik, he's behind the bars, he's facing the heat, and anyone should be there. Tell me, when will Yedurappa ji, if the same yardstick is to be used, when will Yedurappa ji be behind the bars? Why the same people who are saying Shiv Sena is corrupt are quiet when Yedurappa ji, the charges against him, a sitting CM had to resign because of his charges? So these things also needs to be dealt in toto, but that has not been dealt by BJP and BJP supporters. The reality is BJP wants to be in power in Maharashtra also. They did what they did in Madhya Pradesh, they did what they did in Karnataka, and now they are using the same tactics. The tactics are not new. They're using it to come in power through a new route of Eknath Shinde, and let us see.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Quiz question. Okay, let me ask you a quiz question.
No.
Manasvi, let me ask you a quiz question. Manasvi, let me ask you a quiz question. Manasvi and Gaurav Goyal, let me ask you a quiz question. Manasvi, that's a 1 minute for this fantastic point, Manasvi. Can you tell me, Manasvi, who did Sena fight with, and who did they get their votes, with when the elections took place? Who were they in alliance with? What did they promise the voters? Did the voters vote NCP and Congress to power, or did they vote BJP and Shiv Sena to power?
Ask a question.
No. Answer my question. Did they vote for NCP and Congress,
listen to me. I'll answer
or did they vote for Shiv Sena and BJP?
You are not letting me answer. You are not letting me answer. You have become a quiz master, so you let me answer. Your question is very valid. They fought the election together. The mandate was together. What happened after that? Why the first people to form government was Ajit Pawar and BJP.
Bhai, that's what I'm asking you. What happened after that?
23rd November.
What am I saying?
23rd November, dear Quizmaster.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dear Quizmaster.
What are you saying?
Ajit Pawar and Devendra Fadnavis formed the government. What happened? What are you saying? Dear Quizmaster, you forgot this.
Oh my God.
Dear Quizmaster,
see, instead of answering,
the governor in the middle of the night.
Yes. See, you're a Quizmaster. 1 minute. I asked you to answer. Don't jump to. See, if it's a 3-part answer, you're jumping to the 3rd part straight. 1 minute. If it's a, oh my God, what kind of an answer is this, Gaurav? What kind of an answer is this? Who was voted to power? Gaurav, who was voted to power? He's talking about Ajit Pawar. What is he talking about? What are you talking about? I asked you who was. My question was who got the mandate. My question was who got the mandate. Simple question. Don't jump to some 3rd or 10th part. Gaurav,
see, the mandate
Gaurav,
was
Manasvi,
for the
you had your turn. Let him speak.
mandate
You
was
had your
for
turn.
the
Let him speak.
BJP.
You've
See,
had your turn, Manasvi. Let him
Manasvi,
speak.
the mandate was for
Oh
the
God,
BJP
please.
Shiv Sena alliance. That's why the BJP won more than 100 seats. The 55 seats which the Shiv Sena has won, that was also due to the BJP only. So people voted for BJP and Shiv Sena. and they dished the BJP, not only the BJP, but they dished the people of Maharashtra by forming an unholy alliance, by making an alliance with those who are corrupt people, and that's why you have been punished. Mr. Manasvi, you should appreciate that you have been, you leave Ajit Pawar, now you leave everybody. See what you have done to your own party, what Shiv Sena has done to their own party. Your own MLAs are not there with you. It's not just 1, 2 or 3. It's more than 35 MLAs. Mr. Manasvi, it means...
Why don't you answer? Why did Devendra ji betray the people of Maharashtra by signing an alliance with Ajit Pawar?
100 seats. And now you have been reduced to 20.
So that's why you went with Ajit Pawar, and that's why all the cases were taken away. That's why you took all the cases against Ajit Pawar on irrigation scams away.
Only 2 MLAs
No, answer me. Why did the CBEDI immediately when you went with an alliance with Ajit Pawar took all the cases away?
You have been reduced, you have been nubbed in the butt now.
Yeah, he's going to... I'll have to take a short break right now. Okay. I have to take a break.
एकाने प्रश्न विचारा. मी सकाळपासून इथेच आहे. माननीय शरद पवार साहेब येऊन गेल्या, सुप्रियाताई, जयंतराव, आता नाना पटोले, बाळासाहेब थोरात, अशोकराव चव्हाण हे सगळे आता आतमध्ये आहेत. मुख्यमंत्री आता वर्षा बंगल्यातून मातोश्रीवर राहण्यासाठी निघालेले आहेत. मोह, माया, सत्ता याचा आम्हाला अजिबात लोभ नाही. आम्ही लढणारे लोक आहोत. आम्ही लढत राहू आणि शेवटी सत्याचा विजय होईल अशा प्रकारची भूमिका आहे. दोन्ही पक्षाच्या प्रमुख नेत्यांनी येऊन महाविकास आघाडीला आणि उद्धव ठाकरे यांच्या संदर्भात ज्या सद्भावना व्यक्त केल्या, मग शरद पवार साहेब असतील, नाना पटोले असतील, अशोकराव चव्हाण असतील, बाळासाहेब थोरात असतील, सकाळी कमलनाथजी होते, आम्ही त्यांचे आभारी आहोत.
कारण काय आहे?
असं आहे की काही लोकांना वाटत असेल, त्यांनी आपल्या निवेदनात सांगितलेलं आहे की ते मातोश्रीवरती का राहायला चाललेले आहे. मातोश्री हे मूळ स्थान आहे शिवसेना प्रमुखांचं आणि शिवसेनेचं. नहीं, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं होगी. मैं आपको बताता हूँ, ये आप गलत न्यूज़ चला रहे हो जी. मुख्यमंत्री उद्धव ठाकरे जी है और रहेंगे. फ्लोर ऑफ द हाउस पर अगर मौका मिला तो हम बहुमत सिद्ध करके दिखाएंगे.
जर सरकार वाचवायचं असेल,
माननीय पवार साहेबांनी असा कोणताही सल्ला दिला नाही. किंबहुना ही लढाई आपण शेवटपर्यंत लढायची अशा प्रकारचं भूमिका माननीय शरद पवार साहेबांनी घेतलेली आहे.